The Area Lodgebox Series enters race number 8 of the season at the world's fastest half mile in Bristol, Tennessee. It's short track Thursday night here for the Area Lodgebox Series. James Scioli won last time out at Darlington, leads the point standings. Third in practice as we head into the Night Hunter. Going to be a fun one, 190 laps at Thunder Valley.
Absolutely, it will be the third race of the week for Area iRacing. We'll have 4 next week with the charity event being held next Friday night. But got the Lodgebox Series to do, and from what I'm hearing, the car is handling pretty good. And that's from Brad Slaughter. Brad Slaughter making a surprise appearance in tonight's race at Bristol. Was in last night's truck event, in which he was one of only 2 drivers to lead a lap, the other being Travis Beckner, who ended up getting the win. But that was on dirt. This time it's going to be on the concrete surface. And look out for Brad Slaughter, because he said that he likes the car, not handling too out of shape. And yeah, just keep an eye on him as Wise starts at the top of the practice chart. 4 minutes to go.
Could be a fun one tonight, 190 laps. That's a race that could go by pretty quickly. As we saw on Monday, though, the progress can get slowed, but the drivers like the car, and that's a good start, Hunter. Typically here at Bristol, you're fighting and handling all night long, on the bottom, on the top, in the middle. Everywhere in the racetrack, it can be a challenge. Big field tonight, 32 cars on the docket for this evening, 16 rows of cars. You mentioned Brad Slaughter, but got my eye on Alan Elwood in second here in practice, and in second in the point standings. James Scioli, the leader in points, runs third. Cameron Hearn, Seth Noel, the rest of the top 5, and then of course John Furness. Man, it has been a tough season for him, but in contention so many times in that number 2800, and just hasn't quite yet been to victory lane.
So close yet so far to getting that first win in the Lodgebox Series, but I wouldn't count him out either. I wouldn't count out the 99 of Tommy Ryan as well. It's also been pretty fast. Also looking at the 7 Scioli, mentioned that he's third on the board. He wasn't in the Cup race Monday night, so that allowed a roulette of drivers to just put their name in the mix just to have a shot at winning. But ultimately, in the end, it was Jake Nichols getting the job done in that race. But Scioli is in tonight, and I was a little concerned because he hasn't been on Bristol on the concrete surface. As mentioned, he wasn't in Monday night, but obviously that doesn't stop him or doesn't phase him. Third quickest on the board, and Seth Noel, gonna have to keep an eye on him as well. Had a really solid run going Monday night until restart violation that kind of thwarted his run. But I would keep an eye on Seth Noel once again at Bristol.
Yeah, he'll be one to watch for sure. I had my eyes also on Chris Rabel in the 29. Would you believe he's third in the point standings? He's had a phenomenal season in the Lodgebox Series. Runs 14th here in practice. Not off to a great start this evening, but he's just crept his way up. He hasn't really made a whole lot of noise in terms of winning races, but his best finish, second in Atlanta, then he followed up with a third at Darlington. His only finish outside of the top 15 was a 35th at Daytona, and then 2 13ths. Everything else was a top 10 or better. So that 29, still one to watch as we make our way through this season.
Yeah, honestly, that's surprising. I wouldn't think that Chris Rabel would be third in the standings. I knew he was up there, but I didn't realize he was that close up on points alone. He's also another driver who's looking to get his first win tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll take a look at the playoff picture right here. So those that are in the top 3 are all locked in. Scioli with 3 wins, Elwood with 2, Tommy Ryan with that win in Atlanta. So Chris Rabel mentioned third in the point standings, but highest amongst the playoff picture without a win. Then you got John Furness, Travis Beckner, Benasak, Weishart, Brian Shambles, Colin Fambro, and then the last 2 in, Cameron Hearn, 3 points to the good, and then Forrest Smith is in on a tiebreaker with Greg Mitchell on the outside looking in.
That should be a fun one to watch those guys battle it out. Pierce Maffitt back there in the mix, Garrett Grant. Good drivers that have had some good runs that are right outside that bubble as we head into tonight's race. Qualifying is coming up here shortly. One of those drivers, Colin Fambro, and that number 18 runs 10th right now. Seen him do pretty well on the short tracks in the past. And line change is going to be an interesting one to watch tonight. Bottom versus top and how that kind of undulates throughout the night. There was a change to iRacing's dynamic track system in the recent build, and I think it'll make things a little bit more natural in terms of where the cars find themselves. Basically how slick the surface is from what's the word I'm looking for? From like a granular perspective, what's the word they use? It's like a shine.
Like a shiny, like the PJ1?
The aggregate.
Or like
there's like an aggregate value basically now for where the track has been smoothed over, where it's rougher, and that probably going to change how this track handles pretty significantly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the side-by-side action because we saw Monday night, if you're that bottom car coming off the corner, you got really loose, and sometimes we saw drivers spin out coming out of the corner and create crashes, but different handling on the car tonight. It'll be interesting to see if we can get some clean side-by-side racing. Obviously, there will be some fender benders in between, some bumps and runs, but got to get qualifying in first.
I don't actually know, thinking back now, I don't know if that aggregate multiplier has been applied to the oval tracks yet. I think it was primarily on road courses. But nonetheless, we got that dynamic groove, the rubber shifting around on the circuit. Get later into the night, that can shift the grip around. Qualifying is now green, and we're heading back down to the racetrack. Seth Noel in that number 93, getting up to speed, one of the first drivers to jump on track. Qualifying is always important here at Bristol, Hunter, and I don't love playing strategy games at this track. I'd rather just start up front, stay up front, and play the smart calls all night long. It's just so hard to make big progress in the field that I just want to start up front, stay up front, and not have to pass a lot of cars.
That is always the best case scenario. If you got a fast car in qualifying, you'll be away from the chaos, but with a short track, you'll encounter lap traffic much quicker, so you'll be thrown into the mix with that. So Seth Noel puts down a 15.3. Now, the track record here from a season ago, set by Ryan Hartz, was a 15.068. We'll see if that gets thwarted here tonight as Brad Slaughter goes to the top, 15.229.
Ooh, big lift out of turn 4 for Slaughter. Got in throttle a little bit too soon, but he did go faster, actually, a 15.209. David Weishart, though, immediately eclipses that, a 15.085 there, Hunter.
Very close to the 0.68 track record set by Ryan Hartz. Garrett Grant's second on the board. We haven't talked about him and his run Monday night, but he was up in the top 5, top 10 towards the end of that cup race. Very solid on the short tracks here, as is Cameron Hearn. Where is this guy not good at that?
Yeah, he's pretty good everywhere. He's had a couple of unfortunate endings to some races this season, but we know he's capable of winning basically any race that he enters. Into turn 3 here on his first lap, right up against that outside wall, turning down to get this run off the corner. And lap 1 for Hearn, a 15.251. See if he can get that lap 2 pickup and jump into the top 10.
See him working down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. It was a season ago where Hearn had a really good run, but was thwarted by a lap car, got close there on the corner exit. And the number 67 goes to 5th quickest on the board. Well, move that down to 6th because Colin Fambrough just jumped up to the podium spot.
James Scioli's on track now. First lap at a 15.274. Lap 2, kind of bottom lane here in 1 and 2. An interesting line I haven't seen yet in qualifying. Track record on the line here if he can go 0.2 quicker. Not
Comes
quite.
off the corner. No.
Second.
Close, though.
Yep, second, but a little bit off. Michael Light puts a lap in. Alan Elwood getting on the racetrack now with the Simrap Market car. Here he goes.
Now, this is a driver who might have a shot at dethroning not only Weishart for the pole, but Ryan Hart's in the track record as well. And I don't believe he's in tonight, Ryan Hart's is, but he led the race from flag to flag season ago, all 195 laps. I doubt we'll see that tonight, a little bit less than that, 190. 49 of Elwood going to come off turn 4, put down lap number 1, 15.3, 18th quickest so far.
Yeah, a little slow on that first lap, but he might be saving a little bit for this second lap. Got a banker in. Not going to be a very good one, but this second lap could be a lot quicker. Comes up out of turn 4, across the line, 15.084. Pole by 1,000th.
Wow. It's that close around Bristol Motor Speedway, and the margin for error is just that slim as well. Even if you're, like, say you're Weishart and you're 1/1000 slower, it's like, oh man, what could I have done to possibly go even faster?
15.084 to Weishart's 15.085. Here's Swervin Irvin, the AMP car, getting up to speed.
Swervin Irvin. I think he's due for a solid run here tonight. 15.5 on the first lap, 22nd quick.
Turn 3 here. Low first lap was good for Elwood. For Irvin, picks up 0.3. Will put him near the top 10, 15th. Just missed out by a couple thousandths on 10th through 12th. Travis Beckner is on the road now, and he's entering turn 1.
Yeah, Travis Beckner, last night's winner in the Truck Series on dirt, had an okay, well, I shouldn't say okay, he had a really nice run going in the Cup Series, but was caught up in a crash, and that kind of thwarted his race to not get the finish that he wanted.
15.091 on the first
That's
lap.
On the first lap. Wow, yeah. Yeah, the track record might be in jeopardy here if Beckner can make it through 3 and 4 okay, riding in car.
Oh, no, not quite.
Oh, he got loose there at the very end, but nonetheless, still an impressive effort from the 27 of Beckner, and he'll just drive it into the wall. So third quickest for the 27, and there goes Jacob Hudson.
Yep, Charles Canita is on pit lane waiting to launch, but hasn't quite done it yet. Interesting to note that Beckner's first lap was so much faster, and Elwood's was so much slower than his second lap. It seems like it's just a straight-up trade-off between fast lap on lap 2 or lap 1. You just kind of pick which one you think you can go faster in. It worked out different ways. Elwood, though, at the top of the board by just a couple 7 thousandths over Travis Beckner, who will start directly behind him on the inside of row 2.
Yeah, still got some drivers who have yet to go out. 4 minutes remaining in the session. Looking down in the poll question, we got some picks in. Will we see a new winner tonight? And the options, well, the previous winners are Shane Therian, Alan Elwood, James Scioli, and Tommy Ryan. You can bet with either exclamation point bet yes or no. Wager as little as 10 channel points or up to 10,000 channel points. You got Don DeLeo saying yes. I'm also saying yes, but Jacob Bell saying no.
Jacob Bell right in the mix there. Wanted to take a quick moment before we get to the tail end of qualifying. Fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat. Also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can redeem free merchandise. iRacing's Twitch, twitch.tv/Area iRacing. We're live on it right now. If you're watching it there, you're already where you need to be. Qualifying still's got 3 minutes left, and the next taker is Jeff Ryan in the number 37.
Oh, look at there. We got a few new emotes over here in the Twitch chat, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to use those. For the 37 of Jeff Ryan, looking to have a better run than what we saw Monday night, was all over the place, but the 37 car looking to get the ship right.
Up to the high side here in 3 and 4, back around to the stripe. We'll see what Jeff Ryan can do. 15.710, slow on lap 1. Will lap 2 be the big improvement like we've seen with the others?
It seems to work that way for most people, unless your name's Travis Beckner, and then lap 1, you're good to go. Comes high off of 4, close, nope. Pancakes the outside wall, try to get a little too much, so it's going to be a tough hill to climb for the 37 of Jeff Ryan.
27th place, which is last of the qualifiers so far. Just about a half dozen that have not yet put in their times, and I think some of them are not going to. Based on how much time is left, there might be 1 or 2 more takers, but for the most part, these might be drivers that just think starting from the tail of the field is good. As I say that, Ricky Harden in the number 15 rolls out onto the racetrack.
No, I was going to... Tommy Ryan is yet to go out. Bryce Senesac as well. Those guys are high up on the points, so I would assume... Well, Tommy Ryan's got to win, but I would assume that they would, have a sense of urgency to start up front, unless they feel more comfortable with starting in the back. But the only downside of that is that after 20 laps of starting on a green flag run, you're lap traffic and you're in the way of the leaders.
Yep, and I think Tommy Ryan on track as well right now. Here comes Harden, a 15.604 lap 1. Yeah, I mean, you only really need 45 seconds to complete a full run here, a warm-up and then 2 flyers. I'm never a fan of saving it all the way to the last minute, but drivers like to keep things interesting, and sometimes there's a good reason to do that as weather conditions are slowly changing, but when the race is already night, Harden improves to a 15.299 in 22nd place. Track's already night, and there's not a lot of transition happening, so you're not really going to gain yourself a lot as if we're at a road course where track is getting cooler.
Yeah, the lights are already out, and a nighttime sky is shining over the last great Coliseum.
Wow.
And Tommy Ryan, 6th quickest. See, if he didn't qualify, he would have been back in 30th, and just like that, P6 starting spot for the 99.
Yeah, but Steve Durham, Charles Canita, Senesac, and Santo are all going to elect to not qualify unless they start rolling right about now. Doesn't appear they're going to.
And looking down I believe this is correct. Travis is saying that he started third in every race this week, so 3 in a row for Travis Beckner starting third.
That's some mega consistency. I don't remember if that's true, but I wouldn't see why it's not.
And if you want some real analogy here, Travis drives the 27 car tonight, and this is the third time that he's started in the third spot. If you add all those threes together, you get 9. So that is the finishing position I feel like Travis Beckner will get tonight. 9th place finish.
I think he'd like a little bit better than that, but we'll see what he can do.
Absolutely. It's just sometimes the signs are showing. I feel like it might be showing tonight. That would be cool if it was a 9th place finish. But obviously, Travis will want to be 8 positions higher in that first position.
So warm-up is kicking off right now, which means we are almost ready to head down to the grid. So we're going to take this moment and thank Roasted Gems Coffee. Fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. We're going to kick off your starting grid like your morning in just a moment. When warm-up period is complete, we'll run through all 32 drivers on the grid, including those that did not qualify. Set your starting grid and then get rolling for 190 laps. The laps can tick by very quickly, 4 laps a minute or so, but that also means that the incidents can come quickly as well. 7 seconds from one end of the racetrack to the other doesn't leave you a whole lot of time to avoid anything ahead of you.
No, not at all. And we've seen it Monday night as well with cars spinning out and then hitting that inside wall, coming back across the track. There's really not a lot you can do. And especially with how the banking is on the front stretch, even with drivers all the way in the back trying to avoid a wreck. We've seen cars that look like they're going down towards the inside wall. Drivers try to skin on by on the outside, and then all of a sudden the car goes back up and it blocks their lane. So, and also got to be careful. We've seen a couple flips from Monday night. I don't believe we saw any Tuesday night, but it could get treacherous out there.
Yeah, I don't think we had anybody turn over on Tuesday, but got close a couple of times, I think, with some of those wrecks. So we'll see if we can keep all the tires on the ground tonight. That's an important thing at a short track. Important thing at most tracks, in fact. But Bristol, just like Darlington, has its wicked ways with a lot of the cars in the field. Throughout the night, drivers will be challenging that upper groove and miscalculating it out of turn 2 and turn 4. The biggest thing we saw on Monday night, Hunter, was when drivers got up off the corner, sometimes they'd want to make a pass, so they'd leave half a lane or a lane to their outside to try to get to the quarter panel of the driver in front. If someone was to the inside of them, they would come up the racetrack expecting the driver to the outside to go to the wall, and they'd end up banging into each other and creating a big mess. So tonight, I think one of the keys to the race is use your spotters and use your look left and look right buttons. You got to be aware of what's happening around you and what other drivers might do. You can't necessarily rely on what you think they're going to do. You have to know what they could do and then adjust if they don't do what you think they could do. Does that make sense?
Essentially, keep your head on a swivel at all times, especially at a place like Bristol, where you expect the unexpected. Like I said, we saw 2 flips, saw a lot of wrecks, and just like Roasted Gems Coffee, you're going to need to be 100% focused in. And we can tell some drivers who drink Roasted Gems Coffee, and those that don't. Those that don't are typically all over the place, or their signs show on the racetrack. Those that do drink it, constantly going to victory lane week in, week out.
All right, in just a moment. Graphics just went out on me here for a second, so we're going to load those back up and get rolling here because our grid is about to roll, and we got to get down to the racetrack and let you know where everyone is starting. So, in a second, we'll head down there and start with our Roasted Gems Coffee starting grid. Waiting. Go. All right, heading down to the grid now for the Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Here we go. Row number 1, it's going to be Alan Elwood in the 49. He'll start alongside David Weishart in the number 33. Hunter, who's in row 2?
Well, row 2 for the 3rd time this week, Travis Beckner rolls off P3, and 4th is James Skyerly in the 7.
Starting row 3, it's Garrett Grant in the number 5. He'll start alongside Tommy Ryan, the 99 in 6th.
Colin Fambro is 7th in row number 4, and in 8th alongside him is the Muffin Man, Ed Robertson.
Then behind them in row 5, it's Chris Rabel, 3rd in the standings coming into the night. Cameron Hearn, hunting for another victory, starts 10th in the 67.
Row 6, it's the 20 car of Johnson Munsell starting 11th, and starting 12th is the 2 of Greg Mitchell.
13th place is Tom Bourne's number 16. John Furness rolls off 14th in the number 28.
And in the 15th spot's Pierce Maffett, and 16th is Brian Chambliss.
17th place, row 9, is Paul Irvin. Brad Slaughter Jr. starts in 18th in the number 81.
Row 10, going to have Seth Noel start 19th around mid-pack, and then Jeremy Ringney alongside him in 20th.
21st place, Rob Ackley's number 14. Michael Leip rolls off 22nd in the 26 car.
23rd is Ricky Hardin. 24th is Jacob Hudson.
25th place is AJ Roderick's number 69. Hunter Collier starts 26th in the 98 car.
27th is Matthew Cochran in the number 4. 28th is Logan Hartman in the number 10.
29th place is Jeff Rhines, number 37. He'll start alongside Bryce Senesac in the 09 in 30th.
31st is Stephen Durham, and 32nd is Andrew Santo.
And looks like P33, Charles Canita, has not yet taken to the grid. Neither did Jacob Hudson, Pierce Maffett, and Pierce Maffett. So those three drivers, nope, looks like Maffett did make it to the grid. So just Canita will not get set for this start, at least from the racetrack. Cars rolling now for 2 pace laps. Here's the optimistic number, Hunter. If we go green from start to finish, haha, we're at Bristol. 47 minutes is all this takes. That's how quick this race could go by. We know it'll take a lot longer than that and be a lot gnarlier than that. But that's what's at stake tonight, is another victory, and it could come quickly. But
yeah, it could. In the first half of the Cup race, it seemed like it was going to go quick. Had about 2, maybe 3 cautions in the first 100 laps. Then the last 100, just caution fest after caution fest. I think we had 3 caution fests in one half of racing.
Well, one to go here on the pace lap, and field getting set to go green. Alan Elwood on the bottom for this initial start. Saw a range of lane choices all week long, Hunter. Some drivers would take the bottom, and then towards the end of the race, it looked like they would take the top. I don't know that it matters all that much with this new restart zone policy, but Elwood for the initial start will start on driver's left. He'll have Beckner and Grant following him in that inside lane. 190 laps here at Bristol. Round number 8 of the Area Lodgebox Series is about to kick off from the world's fastest half mile. How fast will round 8 be? Green flag in the air, we're racing in Bristol. Lap 1 complete. Elwood leads the way. Beckner rides in second place. He's grabbed a spot away from David Weishart, who falls into third, and nice and neat and tidy until we get back to Robertson and Fambro fighting for 7th.
Robertson looking to get that outside lane rolling, just like the 67 of Cameron Hearn. And Robertson's going to get by Fambro. Hearn, on the other hand, trying to get by Rabel. A little further back, we got the 98 of Hunter Collier and Jacob Hudson to his outside.
Oh, big. That 20 and 2 and 28 and 16 battle is getting hot before it's not. The 67 and 18 side by side for 8th. Good double wide racing here. This is good. A good battle. That bottom lane is good on the initial start, but as the run goes on, that top lane is going to be the preferable one.
Yes, indeed. The outside lane is going to be the lane you're going to want to be in the later stages of the race. But early on, lap 5, we're already seeing how much dividends that's paying off, as Mitchell is trying to lead the charge. Right aboard with him, trying to get around the 18 of Colin Fambro, and it looks like he'll get there on this quarter panel, corner exit. Nope.
Back and forth.
Getting close to doing so.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the fight that you fight all night long. It's just trying to get to that corner panel, not to the inside, but to the outside here. He might get split 3 wide middle here, the 29 and 28. Go to town and start battling.
Oh, it looked like Gary Grant would have tapped the wall there on the front stretch.
And we're going to see a lot of wall tapping. In the truck race on Tuesday, drivers were straight up bouncing off the actual fencing. They were throwing the trucks into the corner so hard. Not going to get away with that so much on the concrete tonight. But good, clean battles kicking off here. 8 laps complete. 25 on Chambliss is on the outside. We didn't really talk about him a lot on Monday. Didn't have a very good night. Kicked off his Cup Series battle really strong at the beginning of the season, but we haven't heard a ton from him. Actually, I guess it was the Lodgebox Series, wasn't it, back in Chicagoland?
I believe Chambliss was in the Cup race as well Monday night. He started 40th, worked his way all the way up to 16th, then got caught up in a crash or two, actually ended up flipping the 09 of Bryce Senesac back over. But he was having a solid run, was working his way towards the top 10, then just unfortunate to be involved in a couple of those crashes. And speaking of Bryce Senesac, here he is. Did not qualify, did not elect to put down a lap time, so he put down, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to ride this out from the back, see how it feels. He's up 3 spots since the start of this race.
Well, he's on all 4 wheels for now. That's a good start. Hopefully it stays that way, but this battle ahead of him is getting really spicy. This 15th place Munsell chasing this big battle of cars. The 29 are Rabel, Chambliss, Greg Mitchell. They are all kind of stacking up. Even further forward, Fambro and Furness.
Great view from above the track as Garrett Grant and Cameron Kern battling just a little further up the road. Look a little further back. Here's the 26
Munsell sideways on the apron. I was just going back to show a potential issue. You see in the background of that shot, the 41 of Rigney getting clobbered, but Munsell went for a big slide, and now we got more trouble, and this is going to bring out a caution. Senesac's right in the middle of it. The leaders, where are they? Hopefully they've got time to slow it down. Well, it seems like they will, but a 4 or 5 car crash is now the leaders snake on through. Whoa, yeah, still piling in there, guys. Whoa.
What on earth are they doing?
Yeah, going too fast, that's for sure.
All right, well, 15 laps in, first caution of the night is out. Take a look at our SimRep Market replay, dissect what happened, and
yeah, 96 of Hudson got loose, bounced up, hit the 09, and then everyone kind of piles in here. And then on board with Beckner as he's following. You know, you never really know what to expect or how severe the incident's going to be, but this group in the background, I think they were just kind of following the leader's lead.
You know what? I think one of those cars, I think it was Ed Robertson, he might have clipped some of those cars that were down there. I did see a little bit of contact from the back. I'm not sure if that was him or not, but someone clipped in.
I don't see a ton of damage on this 64, so either way, got away with it, but that's just how this racetrack can be sometimes. It will bite you, even if you're not involved in the wreck. I mean, it's a half-a-mile racetrack, so the distance from one end to the other is 7 seconds. So, you know, you have a crash here, and by the time that you have even are told that it's happening, you're already in this area here, and you only have maybe 2 or 3 seconds to react before you get to the corner. It's just fundamental to the racetrack, but the leaders were single file. They had no trouble slowing down. The ones behind, though, were kind of mid-battle and didn't know how severe it was and almost created a much bigger problem.
And if you go back to that aerial view, it's essentially the length of a football field right there, because this racetrack once held a college football game in there, and I wish that they would hold more. But right there in the infield, you can see the outlines of where the football field was. But that's just how fast they're going at a track such as Bristol.
Often holds motor races, too. Pretty good at that.
or Mr. Beast video, if you recall.
All right. So first caution of the night out. We had some good racing up to that point, and the leader was Alan Elwood. Beckner snuck ahead into second on the initial start, ahead of David Weishart, but now Weishart will have that bottom lane for the restart, assuming that all things stay equal. Let's talk about pit strategy. I think you really have an opportunity to just stop once, I would imagine, but maybe there's no incentive to. So on Monday that, I guess it was Tuesday that not pitting was the way, but tires didn't mean a whole lot on Tuesday. They will mean a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, they're going to wear more on the concrete than on dirt, but saw some drivers pit around halfway through in the cup race, like right around the lap 100 mark, and then after the caution fest that kept occurring, some drivers came in and pitted, and like Eric Grant, they had a solid run going, moving up towards the front, but then getting caught up in the wrecks. But you're going to want to see maybe 1 or 2 pit stops tonight from these guys, from most of them. Unless you're riding in the back, then obviously pitting won't hurt you. We got the 1 to green, though, so it'll be interesting to see how this restart goes. And I feel like it's going to be like we saw Monday night, like the carousel of drivers not going on the outside line, and then those that are right behind the leader on the inside line. Oh, I don't think we're going this time.
Yep.
Lights are still on.
Lights came back on as soon as they went off, so we will get one more time to recycle everything out. In terms of drivers that are out, Bryce Senesac, I knew I was going to do that when I commented that he wasn't flipped over, but his night is over. Jeff Ryan is seemingly out for the evening with some pretty major damage, and Logan Hartman also seems out. He's 3 laps down now. Jacob Hudson back out on the racetrack with some damage, but 30th, 1 lap down.
is going to keep on going in that 96 car until the wheels fall off, literally.
Oh, this time it is 1 to green. Elwood again shoot. What is going on down there? Andrew Zanto getting an EOL potentially. Drop into the tail.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm not sure why. And there was no EOL for the first caution, so I'm interested in seeing what that reasoning is.
All right, well, double back up, going back racing here from Bristol. Elwood is in command, lap number 20 of 190. Green flag back in the air. Good slow restart from Elwood. And back up through the gears we go.
Oh, looking down towards the inside. They were almost 3 wide. Swerving Irvin down on the bottom, but good restart from Elwood. Travis Beckner holding his own.
Sounds like Santo had passed the pace car and was about to get a lap back that he didn't have, so that's why he was held and put back to the rear of the field. Look at Beckner all over Elwood for the lead, though. He's hounding this 49, something he wasn't able to do on that opening run.
Yep, all over the bumper. Don't want to use that too soon because Alan Elwood could put that in the memory bank for later on in the going, but got... Oh, whoa, here he comes, down to the inside. Beckner looking to make his move early. Will the outside line prevail for Elwood? For now, it does.
You know what's interesting, though, is Elwood and Beckner are both using the bottom of the racetrack right now. I was not expecting that to really be much of an option, that long after, putting tires on, which was at the start of the race. But now Elwood going to use that outside lane. Here comes Scioli going to try to take a spot back. So Elwood was leading the field on the bottom of the road, and he goes back to it, but in terms of defense, it seems like the upper groove is still the way to go.
Yep, and now Beckner finds himself trying to get back in line. Went for the lead, couldn't quite get there. Going to lose second, going to lose third, maybe fourth if he can get in line here. There's a gap between Weishart and the 99 of Ryan, and it looks like he's going to, still fight on the bottom, but if he comes up on corner exit, he can tuck back in line. And speaking of Ryan, there's Cameron Hearn right behind him. Moving further back, Chris Rabel in the 29. Garrett Grant in the 5, going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, this is a pretty good fight between this group here. 10th through 20th has been super scrappy so far this evening. But now, again, you see this upper groove beginning to kind of be the place where everyone goes, despite those in the top 10 using that bottom lane. Maybe they're trying to rubber that in. They're trying to force some people to drive down there. Try to get some rubber, make it a bit more usable, because it doesn't appear to be a fast groove. It probably won't be the fastest, but it certainly could be better than Bear. And that's what it seems like they're trying to do at the moment.
Yeah, for now, it's what they're trying to get going. And speaking of get going, the 93 is Seth Noel trying to get his car rolling. I mentioned that he was up in front, had a chance to win Monday night, had a solid run going, then a restart violation kind of thwarted that, got caught up in a wreck. Was not the night he was expecting, but nonetheless still trying to... Whoa, there is the 18 of Fambro, getting a little squirrely off the 4.
16 of Bourne.
Actually, that's the 16, yes.
Yep, and he managed to gather it up, but it was a big moment there as we go back to the front. Scioli is tracking down Alan Elwood here. Weishart has fallen back into the clutches of Beckner, who's on a recovery drive from his slide backwards after attempting the pass for the lead, but Scioli is inching closer to the 49 car.
As we ride on board Scioli, they're also inching closer towards that. A little further up the road, lap traffic, going to get them in about maybe a handful of laps or so, but 29 of Elwood continue to hold on to the lead, and Scioli not really pushing the issue just yet.
Lap traffic is inevitable here. It's just part of the way it goes. How you navigate it and how patient you are will either help you or hurt you. And sometimes patience is a great thing here, and sometimes patience will get you in big trouble. You have to be decisive at times and have to be aggressive at times. But we'll see what Elwood does when he gets there. It was the way that we had a pass for the lead on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised to see more of the same tonight.
Absolutely, and looking back at Santo and his penalty, he tried to pass the pace car to get a lap back, and a backfire on it. That was Brad Slaughter there. That looked like he was around the wall there, but Santo just hit the fastest lap of the race. There's Slaughter in the 81. Looked like he caught a bit of that wall last time by.
Garrett Grant, Ed Robertson, John Furness fighting for spots back here just outside of the top 10. And Seth Noel documented his season run so far, puts him pretty decent spot. But whoop, there's a caution on the racetrack, and this time it's AJ Roderick, and he's tangled with 37 of Jeff Ryan.
Well, we'll have to take a look at this and how it got spun around.
Oh.
Looks like it happened a little further up the road, so this is interesting. So 37's just coming off pit road, and I think he tries to merge back in line, unless something happens to Roderick where it comes down.
Oh, yeah, Roderick first. Oh, man, that's
wow.
horrible luck for Jeff Ryan. Man, that stinks. Roderick.
Yeah, that's not at all what I was expecting.
I
believe that is was that the 45?
Paint's not loading for whatever reason, but it's a Supra. Yes, well, it was Charles Canita, yes.
We'll just call it the mystery machine that AJ Roderick tangled up with. But yeah, that's unfortunate for the 37 of Jeff Ryan. Literally just came back off pit road just to get more damage.
Yeah, another look at it. Again, just one of those scenarios where the driver on the outside didn't use the full width of the road and just kind of came together. And or Jeff Ryan, that stinks for him as the field is on pit lane here at lap 40. Probably a good time to take your first set of tires.
Without a doubt. The first of, I'd say, these guys are probably going to have to use 2 sets, maybe, unless we get, caution every 20 laps or so. Then we might see them use 3, maybe 4. But this will be interesting to see if anyone decides to take 2 tires 40 laps in.
Cars on pit lane. Ricky Harden will stay out. I don't know if this is going to be for a while or if he's just trying to lead a lap. Generally, my strategy against this is to not do this because this typically doesn't work out for you, but at least if you're going to stick to it, if you're going to go pit after, that's fine, but see what Ricky does here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to pit. I think he's going to stay out. Although pit in is in turn 2. So we'll see if he comes in and pits this time.
Off of pit lane, doesn't seem like a whole lot of changes except for Scioli beats Elwood out. A little change for the lead there. Not a whole lot of other shuffles in the running order on that sequence.
Well, actually, Seth Noel's up quite a bit of positions. He's currently 6th on the track. I'm not sure if he took 2 tires or not, or just had a really fast 4-tire pit stop.
No, you're right, 2 tires for Noel. That one slipped under my radar there. 2 tires as well for Justin Munsell, but only picked up a couple of spots.
Yeah, keep an eye on Seth Noel. As mentioned, he had a really solid car Monday night, and he was outside the top 10, was moving up, though. But 2 tires gets him inside the top 10. I would say top 5, but is the leader with 1 to go. So we'll go green next time by. And now this will be interesting because I don't think we had a restart where the leader was on significantly older tires than the rest of the field. Talking about 40 laps for Ricky Harden. Everybody else around him, other than Seth Noel, has 4 fresh set of Goodyear Eagles on.
Yeah, we'll see if this works out for him. My gut feeling says no, but not going to find out without trying, and better to try on lap 43 than 143, so we'll see how it works out for Harden. Scioli is on the outside lane, coming back to the restart at lap number 44 of 190. Here we go. Clears the field off into turn 1. Now, once they get up to speed, though, will Scioli quickly eclipse the 15? It appears like he will head to the outside. Double wide battle for the lead, and 3 rows back.
Yeah, this is a good sign to see if this will work under a green-white checker, and that will not if you're the only car out there on older tires. But field working the way on the outside. Scioli, Weishart getting by. Elwood trying to do the same. Seth Noel going to move up to 4th. Harden falling like a rock.
Yeah, Beckner is in a real pickle here. Where do you go? What do you do? He's trapped behind the 15. Hearn's going to cross him over. And they almost touch into turn 3. We know these guys have had their differences in the past, but they're both trapped behind the 15 car now, and this is exactly the scenario that short-term gain, long-term loss, but it's going to hurt you in more ways than one because these drivers are going to remember that you did this and cause this big stack up later in the night.
Yeah, Hearn got into the back of the 15 there. He's trying to tell him, hey, buddy, let's go. Get out of the way. Get out of the road.
Oh, big side swipe there. Clobbers the 15 and back up the racetrack, and it's going to cause a big crash.
No.
And 3-4 cars involved, and Harding gets slammed into by the 13 at the end.
Oh, no. Poor Andrew Santo. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm not sure if the side swipe was intentional or not. I know the bump was, but, man. Boy, that 29 of Chris Rabel caught a break there.
Let's hear. There's another look at it. Came up off the corner here. Watch Hearn. Down the racetrack just enough. Hits the 15 and back up across the road. Gets the 16. And they just narrowly miss it. But the 44, the 98, the 2, the 20, the 64 all get damage in this. And
Santo, at the very end, Santo was sliding, trying to slow down, and slid right into the 18 of Harding. That is unfortunate to see.
I guess for those watching, I guess it's up to you, your thoughts on that. I think my thoughts on that were I can see both angles of that. I'm not sure the punishment fit the crime there. But, again, that strategy call by the 15 was a bold one, and if you expected everyone to treat you nicely after that, I'm not sure that's how that was going to turn out.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but nonetheless, 3 cautions in 50 laps.
Yeah, past the quarter mark, though. We're getting reasonable laps in before these yellows. Cameron Hearn will get an EOL, unsurprisingly, for the caution. And that's when you have to wonder, was it worth it?
Well, rather it be on lap 50 than on lap 150.
100%. You have to weigh that option. I don't think his intention was to junk him. I think the intention was to send a message.
Well, sent a good message out there.
Oh, he sure did. A few others read it also.
Yeah, so that's going to put him in a little bit of a pickle now, and we already saw what happens if you're running up front and then you get sent to the back, just from Monday night alone, so this will be interesting to see from the 67.
Gearing up for another restart here. And I think, if we get a long green flag run, I think we can expect drivers maybe shoot for one more pit stop, but I think more likely is we're going to have a couple more 20, 30 lap runs, and then at that point it's just going to come down to chance, and it's going to split the strategy up, Hunter, on when drivers come, because it's not going to be clear cut when you should come, mix up some strategies, and it'll make this race a lot more chaotic.
No, without a doubt, and really excited for this restart now. Going to see the 7, the 49, probably going to get the jump, although I will say the outside line hasn't been fading too quick. A couple restarts ago, we saw Beckner restart on the outside, and then he just slotted right back in line. But it will be interesting to see how this goes.
So doubled up, got a very strong front 3 rows here. You can throw row 4 in there as well, Beckner and Fambro. Scioli is the leader. He chooses the bottom for the restart. Weishart up top. Never really got a fair shake at the initial launch of the race, as you mentioned, but he'll get another shot here on the outside of row 1. Lap 54, green flag back in the air, racing again for the Lodgebox Series at Bristol.
Scioli, great jump. Weishart going to try and get second away from Alan Elwood. Seth Noel going to follow the footsteps of Weishart. That line is still struggling on these restarts, unless you're the leader.
Yeah, if you're the leader, you're gone, and I think it just comes down to that restart policy. The penalty for jumping is enormous, and it gives a huge advantage to the race leader. And Scioli used up every bit of that advantage as we get back underway, back into some green flag racing. There's Travis Beckner underneath Fambro, and here comes Brian Chambliss into the mix. Haven't talked a lot about him tonight. Started 16th, up 8 spots. He can complete this pass on the 27.
good. Solid run for the 25 of Shambliss, who's just riding it down on the outside for now. Beckner trying to do the opposite, ride the bottom, but right behind him you got Garrett Grant leading. That is Swervin Irvin and Justin Munsell. But now Irvin's looking underneath Munsell.
Yeah, Irvin to the bottom, threw it in there pretty deep underneath Garrett Grant. Seems like these cars aren't racing quite as close as Monday night. They seem to kind of be more comfortable in little pods, kind of racing on their own and then sparking up a 2 or 3 car fight. On Monday, they would just race in these 8-car packs. It was tense to watch, but a little bit more breathing room tonight by the looks of it.
Ooh, just a little more as Irvin swerving a little bit after clipping that apron. Going to get tucked back in line there, 12th place. Brian Shambliss trying to hold off Travis Beckner on the bottom, but he's also trying to get around Colin Fambro, working that outside.
A lot more drivers hunting on the bottom than I was expecting. I know that's kind of the only option the 25 has got, but I just wasn't really expecting that to see that be the predominant line. And even up in the front, look where everyone's going, to the bottom.
Yeah, that's kind of, well, is that to preserve the tires?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that we definitely didn't see a lot of Monday. I think it's probably more comfortable to run high, and you're not necessarily putting in as much steering angle, but you are carrying more speed. So maybe there's a math equation that doesn't quite work out for the high side lovers there. But again, I'm not. It doesn't appear to be the fastest way around. Like if you want to run quick, we saw how you do that in qualifying. But again, drivers know a lot more than we do.
On board with Alan Elwood over in the 4th spot. Getting a little run there on Seth Noel. He's going to be the one to get that outside line rolling again. And it really helps right here on the corner exit. Get right up to the bumper, but then got to regroup and refocus and keep that same momentum rolling in 1 and 2. Although this time 3 and 4 now down into 1 and 2. And Weisler trying to get a different approach as well, moving up towards that middle-ish groove. But Elwood knocking on the door for 3rd.
Really a rhythmic racetrack. When you get into a rhythm, it just feels very good behind the wheel. You're just kind of accelerating and braking, and it's very muscle memory focused. And quickly back to Noel and Elwood. They're back volatile again. Elwood sneaks to the inside, but can you complete a pass down here? That's what I'm interested to see.
You know, that's interesting. I would have thought that he'd go and try to get the outside gun. It was the car right behind him. You just saw it, the 81 of Brad Slaughter. He is up to 5th, I believe, around Tommy Ryan. I'm not sure if they swapped positions or not, but he's getting the outside line rolling. And we saw on board the 49 of how strong the outside line is. Slaughter looking to take advantage of this. The Truck Series regular, also in the Cup Series every now and then, although up the road. Elwood still looking to get that 3rd spot on the bottom from Seth Noel. Can't quite do it.
Watch the 81's line here, up high. He's got the 99 to his inside now, but he's kind of diamonding the corner where he's entering high and exiting low if he has the option to do so. See him turn down off the wall here? That's a really quick line. I really like that line. It keeps you getting exit momentum, but also lets you carry in that high mid-corner speed. It's working out pretty well for him right now. That high exit, enter high, exit high line is very fast, but it takes a lot of precision to run up there, and you can find yourself in the wall pretty easily. Elwood is still working over Noel, but he has not found a way around. Now he's going to try the outside lane.
He's going to try what Brad's doing because he noticed in the mirror, oh my goodness, door bumper clear is getting closer to my bumper.
I mean, that's great analysis, right? I mean, drivers that are watching not only out their windshield and learning, but looking in their mirror and learning. It's going to help you become a better race car driver, and Elwood is applying what he's learning right now.
And Brad's kind of stalled out from that now. It seems like the dirty air has gone up towards him, so now he's on the bottom trying to find another way to get up to the 49 of Elwood, at least through 3 and 4, 1 and 2. He's going to run the outside. Tommy Ryan joining him as well.
Yeah, so Elwood, again, carries that momentum, but then what do you do with it? You can't dive to the inside. You lose a lot of ground mid-corner to those on the bottom because it's so much shorter. This racetrack's wide. Elwood, though, takes that run to the inside lane, and now what?
Hope for the best. Hope they don't crash. In the back, saw the 99 of Ryan get loose on the bottom, but Elwood still keeping his nose down underneath the 93. Going to get tucked back in line for now. but he still cannot find a way around the 93, at least on the bottom. It's just, you got to get around him on the outside.
I don't know that the bottom is a fight you can win. The high side, you just need to have a bit bigger run right here. If he can just get to the quarter panel of 93, it's over. But if you enter nose to tail like this, you can't get the overlap you need by corner exit. The speed difference in the turn is not that much. So it's something that you have to very carefully set yourself up to do. And hopefully catch the 93 a moment where he's sleeping here. But big run, backs off.
Might have been a bump. Might have been a bump. He's getting so close to Seth Noel. You can really see he gets off turn 4 better than he does in turn 2.
A good, clean fight between these two. And there's a little bit of a bump that time. Let's jump a bit deeper in the field. Here's Rob Ackley and Jeremy Rigney scrapping for positions. Ackley in the 14 in the blue and Rigney in the 41 in the red on the outside.
And then right behind those two, Cameron Hearn serving that EOL, dropping to the back for this restart. He's currently up to 17th, but he's got 2 drivers in front of him. Goes to the outside of Ackley for 16th position. Really, this is a 3-car battle for 15th. Jeremy Rigney holds that spot for now. Hearn on the outside trying to get a big enough run. Doesn't want to get into Rigney, though, because that's another problem that you don't want to have. Now he's down to the bottom of the 41. Oh, up the road, swerving over John Furness, nearing each other and almost colliding. Well, just trading paint, really, but Irvin down on the bottom, Furness on the outside, Robertson behind, 12th, 13th, 14th on the track. All 3 of these guys within the eyesight of Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, it got really spicy there for a second, but I think we're going to make it out the other side. Here's the 99 and 81 going back at it for 5th, and they brought Fambro in it, and the 81 of Slaughter's in the wall, and now it's creating a bit of a stack up behind him.
Yeah, he's got his own conga line foreman, although some of those. Oh, we're 3 wide now. Ryan, Fambro, and Beckner. Oh, that was a little tight.
I don't think it was going to work either. I don't think these cars are carrying feels like a lot more corner speed. Either that or they just don't have as much grip. I can't really tell compared to Monday night which one it is, but they do not seem to like being side by side as much as the Cup cars do, which means that 3 wide on the bottom, you're just never going to get enough momentum down there to offset the outside momentum to stay three abreast, which could be a good thing for the longevity of this race. Good green flag run right now.
For now, as Tommy Ryan trying to get around Slaughter, he's still swerving on that bottom as 25 of Shambliss got into the wall back there. You can just see how strong the outside line is. Like, you can get up near the car in the middle of the corner, but when it comes to coming off the turn, that outside line and that momentum is just too powerful.
Yeah, really good racing happening here at the bottom half of the top 10. Up for the top spot. It is getting close. Only about a 10th between the 2 leaders, but this is the hot fight right now for 6th place.
Yep, Slaughter's kind of driving away from that, and Ryan trying to get past the 18 of Fambro, nearly making contact there. Got really tight. They're almost bumping into Brad Slaughter. He's just trying to mind his own business. Drive away.
81.
Slaughter's in the wall. Oh, it rides in the wall as well. Oh my goodness, they're still touching the wall. Fambro's going to go up to 5th, and it's a mess behind him.
I can't believe they didn't crash those cars there. The 81 had a big moment. Caught the 99 up in it, but will stay green for now. That was a high-octane moment that almost didn't work out. Here comes Weishart for the lead on Scioli. Big dive to the inside, lap traffic ahead.
That run still strong for the 7 of Scioli, but Weishart not going to give up just yet. Going to keep diving down on that bottom. All comfortable in the 2nd spot. And Seth Noel, on the other hand, still running in 3rd with Elwood right behind. And man, that battle for 5th was... I think it's calmed down for at least Fambro, but right behind him, though, actually quite a few spots.
Well, it's
Slaughter's on the drop.
Some of the same battlers, some different players now, and it's now for a little bit further down the field, about 10th place. Dustin Munsell in 12th, looking for some positions. And 3 wide with Santo just up the lane. Travis Beckner and Fambro going at it again.
Santo's all up in the wall. Santo's trying to get out of people's way, but he just finds himself in the wall. Gonna get tight off that corner, though. Oh my goodness, look out. And look, there's Cameron Hearn. He got around him. Well, now he did, but man, Santo was just all up in the wall.
It's hard to not be in the way at a place like Bristol.
Yeah, very difficult, especially if they're side by side. then you have to commit to that third line, and if you bobble a little bit, that could be a recipe for disaster, as these guys all avoided disaster just a few moments ago.
Here's Garrett Grant.
Fambro, Beckner, Garrett Grant as well.
Up to 7th place. Just to the inside of Beckner, and they almost hooked the quarter panel of the 27.
Wow. Boy, it is getting really dicey out here. The margin for error is so slim at these short tracks.
Oh, a little touch there again from the 5 to the 27. About 90 laps to go. Laps are clicking away very quickly here. And I think some drivers are beginning to realize that the bet they've made, they have to lay in it now. A lot can happen in 90 laps at Bristol, Hunter, but they also can be a pretty short stint based on the way things have been going.
Yeah, it could be a short stint, or it could be a long one with how these cautions have been going. Ooh, and Beckner looked like he got a little tight there, and Fambro's going to hold on to that spot. Meanwhile, James Skyley holding on to the lead still. Weishart in front. Well, in behind. In front of them is lap traffic. Oh, and that's going to be a little wrench thrown in there. That might allow the 33 to get a big enough run to get beside the 7 Scioli.
Yeah, which line do you take? To the bottom, he's going to try to sneak to the inside of the 44. Now, does Weishart try to go the long way around, but 44 is there. It's just so tough here.
No, you don't want to go the long way around with a lap car on your outside. It might put you in a pickle. Wow. Oh, that was close to being a pickle right there.
Everyone's in a pickle all the time here at Bristol. It's just a matter of who's in the biggest pickle. And these two have checked out. They are in a different zip code. They're the next county over.
They're over the line.
Yeah, seriously, I mean, they're 2.5 seconds clear of Seth Noel in third. As, by the way, Garrett Grant and Colin Fambro, this is going to get dicey.
Oh, Grant coming up on Fambro. Going to take away that spot. Oh, my goodness, that got really tight there as well. And these three are catching up with Elwood and Seth Noel.
Yeah, Garrett Grant has not been shy tonight. He's been using the nose of that car pretty liberally. But it's making him ground. He's back up to where he started in 5th place. And Beckner and Fambro, these two have also been seeing a whole lot of each other. And it drives you crazy as a driver, especially at a short track. Following the same guy, seeing the same logos and the same numbers, it just makes you mad. You just want to get by him sooner than later.
Yeah, Garrett Grant's been a little down on himself as of late, just with reminiscing about all the success he had in Season 1, the opportunity he had in Season 2 that went away at Nashville. But, you know, he had a strong run Monday night, didn't get the finish that he wanted. He's almost 3 wide with the lap car there and Alan Elwood, but he's been on the charge this week and has had some pretty solid runs, including tonight.
Yeah, he's having a good run tonight. And still putting pressure on Alan Elwood for 4th. And they've created another stack up with the 27 and 18 and the 98 Collier, who's a lap down.
Now Beckner's on the outside of Grant, trying to take away the 5th spot. Alan Elwood's got a mirror full of Beckner, and he's got Grant trying to diamond it down, get a big enough run on the inside. Put up quite a fight, that 5 of Grant is. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back in line in between Beckner and Elwood. He might here if he comes up. Nope, going to keep putting the pressure down on the bottom.
Ooh, big squeeze to Elwood out of turn 4. Elwood had the self-preservation to lift there, but had he had not, that would have been a pretty big mess there.
Yeah, that was not, well, probably the cleanest block you'll see without contact being made, but Elwood now losing 2 spots, 1 to Grant and 1 to Beckner. He's outside the top 5 now.
And Scioli has crashed. The leaders are in trouble. Weishart's involved in it. Caution is out.
It's Hudson.
And the leaders are in a mess. And more cars involved.
They're still hitting. Oh, my God. I think Fambro might have just clipped the 96, but...
What happened?
Or he was close, too. Lap cars.
Man,
whoa.
Go
We
back
got to
again.
rewind this back quite a bit.
Yeah, so this is going off into turn 1. It's Kanita, the car whose livery is not loading for us here. Scioli. Kanita's going to turn down the racetrack, hit the 16, and then the 7 and 33 just absolutely nowhere to go.
Wow.
And into the wall they went, both of them. Hard impacts there. And 96 really didn't do anything wrong here.
That is unreal. And we saw this a season ago with Cameron Hearn and Andrew Santo, and it looked like Fambro did get a little piece of that clip in the 96 Hudson down on the bottom. But we saw it last season. Lap cars will play a factor in this. You're running inside the top 5 or even in the top 2 spots. So that throws a wrench into everything, because now Skyley's going to have some damage to fix up. Seth Noel is the leader, although pit stops are happening, so he might lose that. And gotta remember, Seth Noel only took 2 tires and was holding his own in 3rd.
Yeah, this is going to drastically change the outcome of this race, I think. 33 of Weishart, I think, got the shorter end of the stick when it came to the damage. I always think back to, I think it was 2009 in a Busch Series race. Remember Kyle Busch leading the way, and the lap car had a tire blown and just took a hard left across the racetrack and turned Kyle straight into the outside wall when he was leading the race. And that's what that just felt like.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure good bit of NASCAR fans love that and would hopefully want to see more of that. Well, I shouldn't say hopefully, but some of them hopefully want to see more of that. But we'll see how things are for Kyle Busch in 2023. Though nonetheless, most recent caution coming out involving the leaders of James Skyley and David Weishart, and we took a look at that just a moment ago with our SimWrap Market replay. Fans, be sure to check out simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack.
We'll knock out Rick's while we're here too as we get closer to the tail end of this race. Fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings.
Well, we got past halfway with a pretty nice run, although lap traffic did play a part in dethroning that. So are we going to see something like we saw Monday night where the second half is just nothing but yellows, or are we going to see another solid green flag run?
I think we're... The pacing and cadence of this race has been a little different. I think we're going to make it another 20 or 30 laps, and then that's when the chaos is really going to start. Or it's going to go the other way, where we'll have a bunch of chaos in a moment, and then it'll clean up for the tail end of the race. But either way, I think tonight the car has been a little bit more drivable. It's been a little bit less of a hassle to handle. A lot of the incidents have been focused kind of dead in the rear of the field. So I think up front, at least, as long as they stay out of the way of those that are having issues, we should be all right in the top 15 or so. Doubling back up, David Weishart will restart in 17th. That is a crushing blow to his run tonight. Cameron Hearn back up to 11th, so he's slowly recovering from the wound he had with that EOL after the caution he had caused with the 15 of Harding. Green flag back in the air, racing again, lap 116.
Big jump there for Seth Noel, looking to get vengeance on Monday night. Running up front here in the later stages of tonight's race for the Lodgebox Series. Skyley, though, he did not repair the damage out there. He's going to repair it. Still pretty quick in the second spot. Beckner in third. Garrett Grant nearly making contact down the back.
You don't need that tailgate. You don't need that rear bumper cover here at Bristol, so no bother to put it back on. Dustin Munsell battles with Fambro real tight here into turn 3. Munsell way up the road, but trying to carry as much speed as possible. The 99 is going to split the difference and try to squeeze the 20 out of the room up top, but he will not get there.
Looks like Munsell's trying to make the most of what he's got with the fresher tire, especially on the outside line. Ryan cannot come up because the 20 of Munsell is there. They're 3 wide in the back almost. Beckner looking to clear Skyley for the second spot, and he will with ease. But the battle is right behind those 3 as, Garrett Grant, Ryan is still swerving on the bottom. Elwood trying to prevent himself from falling even further back. And Munsell's still getting really close to the outside wall.
Yeah, 70 laps to go next time by. And it's getting fierce inside the top 10 here. Look at Elwood sliding off turn 4 to try to get some overlap complete on the 5 of Grant. This time he's got it. He's going to slide up decisively and grab 4th place back.
Trying out the bumper of Elwood as the 5 of Grant. Looking to get his strong run even stronger. Trying to move up in the field, but he's got John Furness right below him, and Grant actually got a little loose there. So Furness with the edge down the bottom, going to take the spot away. Munsell trying to fight on the outside. Grant not giving up just yet. Munsell scraped the wall there that time. But he is really pushing it to the limits here.
Yeah, I mean, he's making okay speed, but he's running that line that I was talking about earlier that is pretty dangerous to run. They kind of enter high and exit high. If you can make it work, it's fast, but it requires a lot of precision to do that lap after lap, especially as high as he's running.
Oh, that got really close there between him and Grant, excuse me.
Scioli has fallen back behind Furness. By the way, John Furness slowly crept closer to the front, started deep in the field, and now is within 3 positions of leading this race. He's getting closer and closer and still has all the fenders. Well, okay, most of the fenders on the car.
Yeah, he was running around 15th or so for the majority of the race, but with everything we've been seeing, and kind of goes back to last night, for Monday night as well, those that were running towards the back or mid-pack slowly found themselves inside the top 10 and top 5, with drivers getting caught up in wrecks or getting EOLs or pitting. So we'll see here as Cameron Hearn still trying to come back from an EOL, running the 15th spot, trying to get 14th. No, that is Collier a lap down. The next car in front of him is Ed Robertson.
So Hearn lost 4 spots on the restart. I'm not sure where. He was running in 11th. Not exactly sure what happened in the 67, but he was running better than this. Well, interesting to note, there's Weishart and Craig Mitchell both have gotten the short end of the stick in terms of crashes tonight, but trying to cling to the hopes for a top 10.
Oh, that is Ricky Harden. Lap car getting in the way of Greg Mitchell. And Brian Chambliss going to take advantage of that. Ed Robertson as well, but Mitchell losing a couple spots from that.
Up front, things are closing up a little bit. 60 laps to go next time by. Noel, Beckner, Elwood. Only about a car length separating them. But then it's Furness and Justin Munsell has settled out in 5th place. Not too far behind the 28 of Furness.
Surprised to see that the 28 has, or the 20 has found the bottom.
Yeah, finally. Didn't really appeal. It seemed like he was a big bottom feeder. Behind him, that was almost a crash there, the 18 and the 99.
Look at Rob Ackley slowly working his way through the top 10. He's trying to hold off Weishart now for the 10th spot. Fambro going to be in a tough pickle here in a moment if he keeps on the way that he's racing and getting close to that wall. Riding on board the 14 to come off turn 2.
Yeah, started the race back in 21st place and looking at a top 10 right now. So making pretty good time, pretty good progress. Just wants a solid
the lap car of Hudson. Might play a little bit of a screwball into this.
Ooh, that was a tight moment for the 14, but he slipped the middle and through he went.
And that's the thing we saw. It was going to be tough for lap cars, especially side by side, because you're going to be in that 3rd lane. If you can't hold it, then it is going to create a problem. But fortunately, he was further enough from harm's way to not bounce off the wall and hit anyone.
Noel, Beckner, and Elwood continue to have a 3-way battle for the top spot. Elwood trying a different line here, knowing that you're not going to pass the guys up front doing what you're doing right now, so you have to do something different.
Riding in car with Alan Elwood. See the Buckeye logo there. Big Ohio State guy from Ohio. Looking forward to their run in the college football playoff is Alan Elwood.
Is that just not a weed leaf?
No. No, it's all over the helmet of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Good to know. All right. I thought it was just like signaling up to blaze it or something, but there he is running 3rd. It was working for him.
Still got a good bit of damage on that bumper, though, from what I'm seeing. And I'm not sure when he got that damage, but it's significant.
Oh, the rear bumper of Elwood. Yeah, he's got that thing punched in. Thankfully, the rear bumper is the least important one, and no one can hit it if you don't have it. So there's that. Lap traffic
with the middle pushed in.
Lap traffic appearing up on the horizon here. We're coming to 50 laps to go. Laps are ticking down.
Patience is going to go down as well, especially with how close Beckner is running to the bumper of Seth Noel. And John Furness has officially joined the freight now, so it's a 4-car battle. Furness is the only one using the outside line, but Hardin's going to make him go down at the bottom.
Yeah, Noel actually gained a car length or two that lap through. Furness really has been the fastest car of this group the last couple of laps by utilizing that upper groove. Elwood tried it, didn't really get very far. Get by the 37, the 44 of Maffitt's next on the list. Furness, look at the run he's going to get off turn 4.
The only problem with him using the outside line, and now Elwood's starting to use it, is the lap cars, because that's where they're going to have to go. They can't just block the leaders on the bottom, although some might, very few will, but most of the time the lap car is going to be on the outside, or they're going to block right there on the straightaway, but that's the only thing that's going to hold the 28 back.
Well, 0.3 of a second advantage. All he wants to see is these drivers start to fight in the mirror. If they do that, he's home free. But as soon as
he's all over the bumper of Elwood now.
Yeah, Furness is just continuing to fight this fight, and he's taken the focus off of the 27 for Elwood. That lets Beckner close the gap back to Noel. So just ebbing and flowing this battle for the top spot.
See, if I were him, I would have just stayed behind Elwood and then try to pass on the outside, because now Elwood's taking that outside away from Furness, and now Furness is going to try the outside line again. But it's taking them away from the battle for the lead.
That's ebbing and flowing. The 27 is really in control of this. As soon as he gets alongside the 93, that's when it's going to start breaking up this battle. But Noel's doing a great job holding his own, hitting his marks, doing what he needs to do to preserve this. As quickly we jump back, Cameron Hearn is working his way back into the top 10. He's right back where he restarted, but all of this track position was lost at his ZOL for the contact that he had. Go back to Furness and Elwood. So good battles all over the racetrack, closing in on 40 to go.
I think Furness is going to have to do what Grant did a little bit ago, and that's just slide up in front of the 0.9 whenever he can, but he's not even close enough to slide up in front of him. Now he's just running the tire tracks of Elwood on that outside through 1 and 2. He'll do the same in 3 and 4, but at some point, bumper is going to have to be used. We got 40 laps left.
I'm going to say it's a short track. I wouldn't say it's necessarily accepted, but it's part of the deal at a track like this. The challenge is this is not like Martinsville where you use the bumpers and everyone's going slow enough that it's all mechanical grip. You can really upset someone's car and straight up crash them if you get it wrong, but right back to the bottom in turn 1.
Looking by, and that is not the battle that is might have been in the background, but Furness still looking to get that 3rd spot, but the outside line just too strong.
Winless this season is that 28. He's been close a number of times. Cameron Hearn finally got up to 10th, but it wasn't at the expense of Weishart. Weishart up to 9th now. Knocks Chambliss out of the top 10. Now Furness is making pretty good progress here, Hunter, so he might actually be able to complete this with one big solid run and maybe a little bit of door action here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's still door-to-door with him, but he's going to have a strong enough run on that bottom, or that could happen. Get too loose, and then the momentum goes right back to Elwood.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was trying to run up the road, kind of take away some of Elwood's corner exit advantage. He's still pulling even with him, though, into the corner. Another big lunge here into turn 3. But he's staying with him. If he could just use him up a little bit. Nope. It's just not in Furness's nature. I don't think he's going to do it without a little bit of prompting first.
No, and this is only going to hurt them, once again, trying to get the win. Furness just backs off. He's just going to tuck back in line and try to regroup or refocus and catch up on the front two. A little further back, Chambliss, Tommy Ryan, Ed Robertson riding on board, all battling for the 11th spot. Robertson, though, looking to get around Ryan for 12th.
Scioli right behind, trying to recover anything he can. Not a good points night for the 14, or for the 14th place driver, the number 7. Furness really far forward though, almost leaned on him.
Here comes Munsell trying to join in and make this a 3-car battle for 30. He's been rolling the top, and you know we've seen this. Catching the driver is one thing, passing is another. We've seen that with the 28 of Furness. He's still trying to find a way around Elwood. through the outside, inside, middle. Lap car here might help.
Yep. Caution. Chris Rabel.
Forget that.
And more. Maffitt's involved as well. Caution with 30 laps to go. Driver that's third in the points. Big time damage for the 29 of Rabel.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that, see what happened. Oh. Well.
Oh, the 81
that
is Slaughter.
Is unfortunate.
Yep. Yeah, this looked like they just 16 comes up off the corner and flips the wall here and then bounces into 29 right here, just a little bit too wide. Slams into the 29, sends him hard into the barrier, and watch behind the 44 Maffitt down the racetrack. Nothing he could have done. Then Slaughter nowhere to go. Clobbers the 29 at full tilt there. That you got the feel for Slaughter with the effort and input that he had tonight for it to kind of end so poorly like that. On board with the 81. Yeah, nothing you can do. You get on the brakes by the moment you see it happening, and they're just steering or turning, and the car's just not doing anything. And that's when it hurts the most.
Pit stops now. This is the money stop. See if anyone elects to take 2 tires. I doubt anyone will stay out. But 2 tires, it worked for Seth Noel, so we'll see if it works for anyone else if they elect to do so.
Munsell off pit lane pretty quick. Elwood off pit lane pretty quick. 2 tire stops for all of those. Beckner took 4. Noel took 4. Furness took 4. But Elwood, Grant, and Munsell, 2 tire stops. And I like the 2 tire call here, Hunter. With 30 laps to go, high chance for yellows. I like a track position play.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, we saw work with Seth Noel. That's how he got up in the front for the lead. And now Elwood gets himself. If that caution happened 10 seconds later, he would have been He would have been behind. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered if he took 2 tires. But that doesn't come out, and he's falling back even more with that lap car being used as a pick. So this could set up Elwood in a pretty good spot to win. Could. Garrett Grant's right behind him too. He's still got something to prove.
About 25 laps to go. Fans, be sure to check out areiaracing.shop for merchandise to represent your favorite driver. Shop from our selection of t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and more at areiaracing.shop. Checked it out last night. There's some pretty good stuff on there.
Always good stuff. And I'm actually addicted to wearing this sweatshirt. It was from last season, but it's a David Weishart sweatshirt. The sweatshirt's just so comfy. And actually had someone ask me today when I was out doing some shopping. It's like, who's David Weishart? And I go, well, you have to tune in to iRacing on Twitch to find out.
Haven't heard of him. You're out of the loop.
In there as well. Yeah.
At least in our
Get
world.
yourself in the loop. Yeah.
All right, doubled up. 25 laps to go. This is when things get intense. This is when tempers start to flare. Elwood on the inside, he's the race leader. Garrett Grant on the outside, Munsell behind him. Those 3 are on 2 tires. Everyone else is on 4. 25 to go. Green flag back in the air from Bristol, and we're back underway.
Munsell in second. Beckner wasting no time, dropping into the bottom. Garrett Grant, though, going to see what he's got. Lap car.
Wow.
Oh, that's really tight with Travis Beckner. Oh, boy. Munsell trying to hold on to second, but Elwood checking out.
93 slipped big time there out of turn 2. And Garrett Grant and Beckner is being very aggressive, trying to grab those spots, chop the nose of Furness last time by, but he needs to move and move quickly. The 5 gets turned in front of the field. This is going to be a big crash out of 4. Everybody's in this one.
Massive crash piling in. Scioli, Mitchell, Beckner, Grant. Oh, my goodness. Well, you knew that one was coming with how aggressive they were racing for second. Alan Elwood enjoyed every second of that. Take a look back on our Simrep Market replay just to see how it all went south.
Very quickly it went south, and we had to go back a little bit farther than this. Holy cow, that was a big mess. But here's how it started. The 5 kind of just comes together with the 20 there, and then 27 has nowhere to go, piles in. Furness gets turned, and This is where it all begins.
He gets Ryan back up. Furness does, but those behind not so fortunate. Boy, Shambliss' car just it just stopped as soon as he got on the wall.
It stopped, and then the others kind of pile into this mix. The 64, the 41, the 7. 2 of Craig Mitchell took a big hit there. 48 kind of snuck through there, I think, but here's another look at it at full speed.
Right in front of the flagman as well.
And let's ride on board with Swervin' Irvin and see what he saw out the nose. A little bit of contact there with the 64.
We saw Justin Munsell do that earlier on in the race, not only on the inside but outside as well, just like flooring it through the corners.
On board with Craig Mitchell.
Oh my goodness.
Going to be a big wad up here. Kind of a self-cleaning racetrack there for a moment, just like Dover.
Yeah, that's what these concrete tracks do.
So, 20 laps to go now. Let's reset your running order. Elwood, Munsell, Beckner, Seth Noel, your top 3. A lot of the drivers that were kind of involved at the pointy end of that were able to straighten it back out. You mentioned John Furness, Colin Fambro. They've made it through. Cameron Hearn grabbed a couple of spots in that. Rob Ackley, David Weishart, Tommy Ryan. The big losers in that whole scenario, Scioli for sure got the worst of it of the front runners. Of course, the 5.
I'm trying to piece together how this restart's going to go, because Munsell, I don't know if he got... I think he got away with that without any damage. Beckner, though, I think he's going to have to pit unless he doesn't. Seth Noel, that'll be interesting. This whole restart's going to be interesting. It looks like Beckner's going to stay out, although it looks like he's missing the front of that 27. So we'll see how fast he is on this next restart.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's going to matter. I think at this stage, you got to just run what you got. I don't think I would pit it at this point. You're dragging the track, your car is sideways, as long as you're not required to hit pit lane. 20 laps to go at Bristol, you're going to stay out. I mean, it's just, there's too much unknowns left. A long run here, for a 20-lap run is not a long run, so if you can just nurse it back, you're going to try to do that. It might create a bigger mess, but it also might not be your fault. So there's that.
Yeah, it might be a mess for the bottom and everyone else behind, because if it's slow, then it's going to hold back Furness and Hearn, and this might help the 20 of Munsell.
Time to go racing again. 18 laps left from Bristol. Green flag.
Beckner really not going, and Elwood checking out again. Although Beckner's still putting up a fight. Didn't really get a good launch, but still trying to hang tough on that bottom.
Oh, wow. Furness, big time crash in turn 4. And more. The 41 of Rigney piles in. And caution is out again. That was a big hit for the 28. What happened?
Take a look back at it. Don't know if he had any help.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. Huh, okay.
I wonder if these guys had a little bit of beef from earlier in the race that we didn't catch, because I mean, I don't think the 28 slows down. I'm trying to see its speed, and no, it doesn't really seem like he jams on the brakes. I don't think the 18, if he meant to hit him, I don't think he meant for him to snap back to the outside wall so aggressively, but either way, that's a big hit for the 28, and his bad luck will continue after getting close to the front towards the end. Now we've got a caution issue because our pace car is trailing the field. There it is.
Yep, Seth Noel there in the 93. Not really sure what the issue is there, but get it all sorted out.
Yeah, I think the pace car kind of got released in a weird place. Probably restart with, what, 12, 13 laps, maybe 12 laps to go?
I'd say 12.
Our number of options in terms of restarts are limited. I think Elwood's in probably the best spot of anybody. Seth Noel, remember, he is on 4 fresh tires. So is Beckner, so is Hearn. So just the front row is on 2. I just don't know, now that we've got a heat cycle or 2 on these, that it's going to matter all that much, especially with how much of an advantage the restart gives you and how important track position has been tonight.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on as well, especially like we saw, bumper being used by Fambro. That's going to be used more often from now to the checkered flag as well, because it's Bristol, baby. You got short track, short tempers. Going to be probably a good bit of unhappy people after this one's over.
Hey, that's likely. Not a lot of drivers come out of Bristol thrilled with everybody on the road. That's just part of how it goes. Also, where is the Ford representation up in the front? They have not had the luck fall their way tonight. No Fords in the top 10, and a whole host of them just outside.
Yeah, it's just been a Chevy and a Toyota world. Kind of like real life Xfinity.
Oof.
Big oof.
Seth Noel, in theory, will restart right behind Elwood if Elwood takes the bottom. It appears like he might take the top, though. Put the damaged car behind him rather than the able-bodied one. And this time's the one to green, and looks like he is going to choose the top. Smart call, I think. I'd rather have that 27 be the one that gets the advantage, because that car is not going to beat me on pace.
It might.
I mean, I guess it
might
could
put up a fight. Yeah, it could put up a fight, but it had a slow start, but eventually once it got up to speed, it was still somewhat better. But we'll see. 12 to go when they go green.
Climbing the banking here with 12 laps to go this time by. Been a wild night. Tempers are beginning to run high, but we're not done yet. 12 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Great launch by the 49. 3 wide. Munsel's in the middle, and he's gone. Look at her to the bottom, 3 abreast.
He did not get going as well. Oh, Fambro trying to sneak in on the outside. Tight 3 wide action here between Fambro and Munsell. They're going to touch. Hearn trying to get around on the bottom. Oh, yeah, the back off.
I did not think that was going to work out. They've singled it back to just double file. But Hearn's not going to wait around. 18's in the wall by Munsell. See ya. He's in the wall hard in turn 3 and back across the road.
Oh, look out. I don't think anyone's going to touch him, and he might have just called it a night there. Whoa.
Yep. He didn't even do anything wrong there. 18 just bounced off the fence. We've seen this a couple times. Bam. Across the road, and just like that, in, and then now you're out.
Boy, how did no one else get involved in that? Especially with the car careening back up the track like that.
I don't know. We're down a whole bunch of cars, down to just 20 runners at the moment. I think less cars on the road will help, but now we're going to get a restart with maybe 6 laps to go, and then that brings up the potential for only 1 more yellow, Hunter. So let's remind everyone of the green-white checkered policy here. We get 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. And a green-white checkered can happen essentially only if we are going to go into overtime. So if we are going to have the race end at lap 190 where it is scheduled to end, that is not going to count towards our green-white checkered limit. We only have 1 attempt at that. So if we have to go into overtime, that means we could, in theory, only have 1 more yellow. I think mathematically we're down to just being able to have 2 more total.
Yes, 2 total. Well, actually, you know what? No, 1.
We're going to oh, you're right. No, because we could get a caution on the restart and then have that be the green-white checkered, and then we could get 1 more and end the race. We get a caution right at on the green of the green-white checkered. That will end the race before the white, which we don't want to have happen, but we've had happen a couple times.
A bit too many times.
That'll happen. So, let's go over some stats on the night. How about that, huh? Only 4 leaders is not a number I would have expected. Only 8 cautions. It's actually a pretty good number for 190 laps at Bristol.
Well, that is double what we had a season ago. And
At Bristol?
look, yes.
How do you guys have 4 cautions
for
at
20
Bristol?
laps. It's a good question. Still trying. Happened the season ago. Still trying to figure that out.
Everybody buy each other dinner before they went on there? Everyone was treating each other so nice.
Well, that's before the race. And after the race, some probably got poisoned.
We've gone caution-free at Talladega, and that's less chaotic and crazy than 4 cautions at a 200-lap Bristol race. Pretty wild. All right. Could get 1 to go this time by.
Oh, we're getting the green this time by.
Lights are still on in the pace car, so I think
they are.
Added a lap.
Huh. Well, they got doubled up. Well, first 4 or 5 rows did. That's why I thought we were going green.
Yep, there it is. I think
we go.
We might have gotten the warning last time by, but they might have added a lap. So, going to restart now with 5 laps to go. If the caution comes out before the white flag, we will re-rack them and restack them and try again for a clean finish. If we were to get a caution again after the green flag, but before the white, the race is over. If we get to the white flag in any of these scenarios, we race it out to the end, no matter who gets back to the line first, how many cars are upside down, etc. Pace car pulls off. Elwood's in command. Seth Noel on 4 fresh tires to the outside. Green flag.
Did not get the jump he wanted. Beckner trying to prove that he still has speed. Almost clear Seth Noel for second, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, they're jockeying all over. Rob Ackley, Tommy Ryan, James Scioli in the mix still.
Look at Hearn to the outside. He has got something to prove. Rockets to 3rd place.
But Seth Noel is really trying to get that top roll, and he let one slip away Monday. He can't possibly let this one slip away again. 3 laps more for Bristol.
Laps tick away very quickly, fresh after these restarts here. Noel is going to run out of opportunities. He probably wants this to go green. Another restart is not going to help him. 2 laps to go here from Bristol.
There's really nothing he can do. Meanwhile, in the back, they're still jockeying between Grant, Robertson, Scioli.
White flag waves. Alan Elwood picks it up. White flag in the air for the number 49. Going to try to outlast everybody else. 2 wins on the season. Scioli has 3 tonight. After leading a bunch of laps here at Bristol, Alan Elwood's going to tie it up for most wins on the season. 3rd win of 2022 to Alan Elwood here at Bristol.
Pretty good race.
Pretty good race, I'll say. Noel 2nd, Cameron Hearn fought back to 3rd. How about David Weishart back into 4th place? Great recovery after that crash that did not have much choice in being in. Tommy Ryan 5th, Beckner, Ackley, Collier, Grant, Ed Robertson, the rest of your top 10.
Even with the damage, that 49 is still fast. And you mentioned it. Doesn't matter if it's on the bumper because you don't really need it, and they can't hit you if there's no bumper there.
Or if they can't catch you, which was the case. Elwood tonight led 65 of 190 laps at the scheduled distance and gets his 3rd win on the year. As far as the year goes, Scioli had won 3. Elwood's previous 2 had come at Lucas Oil Raceway and at Rockingham. And he seems to have the short tracks kind of covered here this year. Rockingham, again, kind of borderline short track, and 5th place at Iowa, but nonetheless, great result for Elwood. Here's a look at the race results on our top 10. We've gone over, but Seth Noel, another strong run. Just didn't have it there at the end. The tires weren't quite worth it.
No, and got to give props to Hunter Collier. I'm not sure where he came from at the very end to get inside the top 10, but a solid finish for Collier in the 98. Grant Robertson rounding off the top 10. Then we look back from 11th on. Scioli did not get the finish he wanted. Got caught up in that wreck. Did not recover as well as Weishart did. Looking around, Greg Mitchell was all over the place. Beat around like a pinball. Still got 15th. Fambro 16th after running inside the top 10 for a good portion of the night. Chris Rabel, not the night he wanted also, finishing 18th. And poor John Furness as well. He's still looking for that 1st win.
Tough night for Furness as well. Justin Munsell comes home 21st. He was up in the mix all night long, at least towards the tail end. and kind of got taken out there. Brad Slaughter Jr., not a great result for him. And then down to the bottom of the list, some drivers that really had a tough night. But you have to look back at this top 10. You mentioned Hunter Collier. He was laps down at one point, fought his way back into the top 10. Great recovery. Ed Robertson had a good night as well at the tail end. Let's talk with our third place finisher. Cameron Hearn brings it home in third, but that does not tell the whole story, Cameron. You fought hard all night. Had some contact with the 15 after the restart, and it kind of held you up. I wasn't sure if there was some intention behind that, but either way, you got a penalty for that and fought your way back. Take us through tonight. It had to be hard work to get back through the field.
Yeah, it was tough. I want to apologize to Ricky Harden. I know he stayed on the old tires and stuff, and I was kind of trying to pinch him lower on the straightaway so he couldn't get into the corner as well, so I could make sure I cleared him the mid-corner coming off. But just, I think we doored each other a little bit and pretty much ruined his night, so I apologize for that. But overall, good points night. Felt like we were pretty fast. Didn't really have a chance to prove it with all the the traffic and stuff, but it's extremely hard to pass here. Was able to make it through pretty much clean, dodged a few inches at the end, but hats off to Alan. He was fast all night. 2 tires there was the way to go. I didn't think it would work out, but we had a couple quick cautions and then kind of gave it to a 5-lap shootout. And with his restarts and how he gets the gears and he can go once he's in the line, tough to beat. So hats off to him. Overall, good points night for me. Good team points. And that's what's important, kind of get a little safety net going into the last few races for the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a really good night for you. Tell me a bit more about the passing tonight, because we saw the inside lane kind of it seemed like preferred, but then as soon as someone would get to the outside to try to do something, they could at least hold off the drivers that were inside and behind. Where was the advantageous line? I'm not sure I saw a clear one tonight.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't a clear one. I could go back and forth. It honestly, I think if you ran low, like the leaders did first 20 laps, it saves the tires, and then you kind of move up the track and have more grip. Whereas if you run high from the start, I think your tires heat up a little bit more and you kind of lose grip as the race goes on. But then again, it's so hard for someone to pass you once they catch you, because you have such a good run coming off the corner, and here they are kind of tight coming off, and if they don't lift, they could possibly get into you. So it was just tough, which made, I think there was great racing. I know there's some lap cars, they got together, took out a lot of the leaders. But overall, for Bristol, as many cars we had, I thought it was a pretty fun race.
Fun race for sure, a fun one to watch, and actually pretty brief, all things considered. Some good green flag runs in there. Cameron, congrats, P3. We'll see you next time. Yeah,
you guys, I'll talk to you. Have a good Christmas. See you guys in a few weeks.
See you on the other side, Cameron.
Thank you.
Seth Noel comes home in second place in the number 93. Tried to pull the tire strategy there, Seth. Get 4 tires on it and go after Allen, who had 2, but just didn't have enough laps. A couple restarts there kind of in the way of the progress, and some dramas all around you. Yep, the fenders on the car all night, though, which was a challenge for others. Take us through your challenges this evening and trying to run down Allen there the last couple laps.
Oh, we had good fun. So let's get to the finish here. At the end, I didn't take 2 because I took them earlier, and I didn't think I was going to be able to hold everyone off, and there was too many. But we had a good race. We started from the back. We had that 2-tire strategy we did early to get track position, and then we had a lead. We had a chance. Just didn't work out.
It didn't quite work out for you, Seth, but in terms of the night, you have to look back at this as a moderate success. Led 51 laps, and I think the wins will come if you keep running like this. So looking ahead on the calendar as we look at tracks like Charlotte, New Hampshire, Pocono, Talladega, is there anything on that calendar that you're circling as potentially a chance to get yourself in victory lane?
Nope. I won't be here for any of those.
Oh, man. Okay, well,
Night was the one I was showing up for. Let me look at the schedule.
Yeah, is there anything left that you're going to... I mean, you can't leave me with that.
Oh, Auto Club. I'll run Auto Club. That'll be fun.
There we go. All right. So
Richmond. I'll run Richmond.
We'll check back in February then, I guess, Seth.
Yeah, late in the year.
Oh, man. All right. Well, hey, congratulations. Tonight was a really good run for you. Second place, not bad at all. We'll be missing you the next couple of weeks, Seth. Congrats.
Thanks, boys.
Alan Elwood, 3rd win on the season. Pulled it off again, this time holding off a whole bunch of drivers there with 2 tires on the car, Alan. We saw some drivers try that earlier in the day. It did not work for them, but you and a couple others tried it out, and you were the only one to outlast the rest. Take me through that strategy call and then battling all night long on a track that was tough to pass on this evening.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race. Like you said, it was tough to pass, so that kind of made it aggravating when you try to pass somebody and you wear out your right front. It made it really difficult to figure out where to try to get guys bottom or top. and try to save tires at the beginning of a run, and then you get ate up, and then it's really hard to get back. So I'll give a little bit of credit there to my teammate Justin Munsell. He said take 2, and I went with the 2 just to try to get out front and hope the cautions fell, and it kind of worked out like IRP. So pretty happy to get a win at one of my non-favorite racetracks. So I'll take it.
We've got this one in the mirror now. We look forward to Charlotte and, of course, New Hampshire, Pocono, and tracks like Talladega. And, of course, we get into the playoff races. Can you get another one in the book here? You're basically battling James Scioli. He's got 3 wins as well. So who do you think's going to walk into the playoffs with more victories, and where are you going to get yours?
Oh, man. Scioli is really impressing me this season. He has really turned it on in all types of tracks. He was kind of known as a road course guy, and he's really known across all the tracks now with good speed. So I expect it'll probably go down to the wire. Hopefully we'll get a couple more. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the tracks, and as always, thankful we don't have to go to Talladega and search for a win. So that's always a good thing.
That is certainly a blessing. Getting one done here at Bristol is also a blessing. Alan, congratulations. Good work. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it.
All right, Hunter, wrapping things up here from Bristol. Really solid race. I think this is my favorite of the week. Good racing all around. Some good kind of long, medium, and short runs to boot, but pretty exciting, I'll say, here from Bristol. And, of course, next week we head off to Charlotte, so back to an intermediate track where these cars really get to shine.
Indeed, we'll be going to Charlotte for Cup, Truck, and Lodgebox, and then next Friday night, we'll have our charity event for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So we'll be hosting a fundraiser for that, looking to topple over the $1,100 that we raised for the American Red Cross just a season ago. But I'll be looking forward to 4 races all week next week.
Some good racing next week. We'll see you there. Kyle Heyer alongside Hunter Sleppy. Thanks for joining us from Bristol. We'll see you in Charlotte, North Carolina next week.